how to compare two ratios. There are two ratios. I want to find which one is greater. The first ratio is 2 1/3 is to 3 1/3. Second ratio is 3.6 is to 4.8. I want to find which one is greater. If you want to compare two ratios and find which one is greater, what you have to do is you have to convert both the ratios into equivalent like fractions. That is, for example, 2/3, 5/3. Okay, in these two fractions we have the same denominator. So these two fractions are considered to be equivalent like fractions. So the same thing we have to get from the given two ratios. That is, first I have to convert the first ratio into a fraction. The same thing I have to do for the second ratio also. And then I have to convert them into equivalent like fractions. That is, I have to get the same denominator. Once I have the same denominator for both the fractions, I can compare the numerators and then I can decide which one is greater. Okay, already we have seen the properties of ratio. That is, let me get the two properties of ratio. One is, the terms of a ratio always have to be expressed as integers. And the second one is, the ratio always has to be written in its lowest term or simplest form. Okay, let me take the first property here. The terms of a ratio always have to be expressed as integers. Okay, in our problem, in these two ratios, in both the ratios, the terms are not expressed as integers. So first, let's try to express the terms of a ratio as integers. Okay, let me take the first ratio. To express both the terms of this ratio as integers, I have to convert the mixed fractions into improper fractions. So 3 times 2 is 6, 6 plus 1 is 7/3. 3 times 3 is 9, 9 plus 1, 10/3. So to remove the denominator, I multiply both sides of the ratio by 3. So 7 is to 10. So now we can write this one as a fraction, that is 7/10. So this is a fraction, 7/10 is a fraction I get from the first ratio. 2 1/3 is to 3 1/3. Now in the second ratio we have decimal. In both the terms of the ratio we have decimal. There is only one digit after the decimal. To remove the decimal, what I am going to do is I am going to multiply both the terms of the ratio by 10. When I do so, it is 10 times 3.6 is to 10 times 4.8. I get 36 is to 48. Now this is not in its simplest form because there is a common divisor 12 for both 36 and 48. So to simplify this ratio, I divide each term by 12. When I do so, I get 3 is to 4. Now I can write this one as a fraction, that is 3/4. Okay, I got the fraction 7/10. 7 divided by 10 from the first ratio, 3 divided by 4 from the second ratio. Now what I need to do is I have to convert them into equivalent like fractions. That is, I have to get the same denominator for both the fractions. Here the denominator is 10, but here the denominator is 4. How we have to make the denominators as same? So find the least common multiple of the two denominators, 10 and 4. What is the least common multiple of the two denominators, 10 and 4? Which is 20. So now we have to make each denominator as 20. So I multiply this fraction by 2, this fraction by 5 to make the denominator as 20. I get 14 divided by 20 from the first ratio, 15 divided by 20 from the second ratio. Now in these two ratios, the denominator is same. So they are equivalent like fractions. Okay, because the denominator is same, now you can compare the numerators. Here the 14, here 15. So the numerator in the second fraction is greater than the numerator in the first fraction. So this is greater. We got 15 divided by 20 from the second ratio. So this ratio 3.6 is to 4.8 is greater than the first ratio 2 1/3 is to 3 1/3.